First and foremost, I want to say, I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe and healthy. On behalf of the Greater Nashville Technology Council's Business Development Peer Group Committee, as well as Coach Bert's team, we would like to thank you guys for taking the time to spend with us this afternoon. For those of you that I have not had the opportunity to meet, my name is Amanda Banks, and I am going to be kicking off this session titled Superpowering Your Motivation During Times of Crisis. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with the business development and peer group sessions, we typically meet as a group quarterly. And with the coronavirus, our Q2 session got rescheduled, which was supposed to be Coach Bert scheduled for May the 15th, which has gotten moved to August the 25th. So you guys go ahead and mark your calendars. So we thought it would be helpful to just go ahead and conduct a meeting virtually. We're super excited to have Coach Bert on here today presenting this topic. In my opinion, there is no one better suited to get your motivation fired up than Coach. I personally have had the opportunity to work with him and have been involved with this program for several months now, and it's truly made a difference in my attitude and my motivation. So with that, Coach, thanks so much for joining, and would love to get this kicked off.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you, Amanda. Like, if you know Amanda, I'd take 100 Amandas or 1,000 Amandas because she's coachable. And I always say it helps if you cook with the right ingredients, right? People that are hungry and humble and coachable. My name is Coach Michael Burt, and they call me Coach because I actually spent a decade of my life as a high school women's basketball coach and building a national championship program at a place called Riverdale High School. So if you live close to Tennessee or in Tennessee, right outside of Nashville, about 20 minutes is Riverdale. I got hired there at 22 years old. So I was the youngest head coach in the state of Tennessee at the second largest high school. And I had come across a theory when I was 18 years old. My mentor told me, if you don't read another book this year, read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And he said, while you're down there, pick up a copy of First Things First. So I go down and I'm 18 years old. And if you've ever read The 7 Habits, you know that it's a very deep methodology book. It's not easy to read as an 18-year-old. So I read this book, and in the book, he talks about this theory called the whole person theory, about how do you tap into the whole person. And he talked about the body, the mind, the heart, the spirit, each of those parts producing 4 different needs, 4 different dimensions, 4 different capacities, 4 different intelligences. The body's need is to live. The mind's need is to learn. The heart's need is to love and be loved. The spirit's need is to connect to higher power or leave a legacy. And so when you hear me coach today, what I'm really going to coach you on is one dimension, really 2 dimensions of that nature. I'm going to coach you on the mind, the mental aspect, because what I have found during this cycle is how many people have been so conditioned just to throw the towel in, just to quit, just to shut it down, just to contract. Then I've seen another group of people that I'm coaching, which are small business owners all the way up to multi-billion-dollar companies, who, when their back is against the wall, their prey drive is activated and they come out swinging. Like, this is a chance to expand. This is a chance to study our business model. This is a chance to diversify our portfolio. And you really have to decide which one of those you're going to be. A lot of that has to do with your conditioning. I was raised by a single mother who had me when she was 16 years old. And that woman taught me, we don't whine, we don't complain, we don't make excuses, right? We dress up, we show up, we grow up, we deliver. And she wouldn't let me miss a day of school for 12 years. And I'll be honest with you, during that period, I hated that. I'm thinking, man, my friends get to miss. Why don't I ever get to miss? And my mom was like, nope, we don't whine, we don't complain, we show up every day. And thank goodness she conditioned me to be that tough. So when I was a high school basketball coach, I was using this whole person theory to tap into the deepest part of the player's dimensions. The body, I was growing their skill. The mind, I was growing their knowledge. The heart, I was growing their passion, drive, emotional toughness. The spirit, I was growing their confidence. So today we're going to work on the mental part, the mind with you, and the confidence piece. And so what happened is, as I began to win games, we began to build what I would call a competitive intelligence. And the more competitive intelligence I built in my players, the more games we won. So if you have teams, if you have teams, the more they buy in with all 4 parts of their nature, the more they produce. And the more they produce, the more you win. In the business world, the more revenue you produce, right? So about halfway through this journey, people were constantly asking me, what are you doing with those kids? because you seem to have such a competitive intelligence. Your kids play harder than other people's kids. They're more connected. They buy into you more. And I said, I don't have I don't have time to explain it. So I'll begin writing one of these 16 books that you see behind me. So I started writing books at 16 years old. At 25 years old, that started the path to writing 16 books. At 31, I retired from athletic coaching. And now all I do is coach business people. And those are people that are just starting a business. Some of you on here may be just starting a business, and you need structure. You need a world-class explanation of service. You need a selling system. You need a follow-up. You need a way to extract referrals. You need a person of interest strategy to grow your brand. Some of you are running mature businesses, and maybe right now you need a diversified portfolio. You need to be able to pivot. You need to be able to introduce something else to the market. You need to be able to generate revenue because maybe in the past 90 days, you haven't been able to generate revenue, which is a lot of the business owners I'm coaching. So today I'm going to give you the mindsets of the top people I coach. And I'm actually going to give you a few things just for joining it. And what I'm going to do, Amanda, is I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen for just a second. And I'm going to show you guys something that I want you to get just for being on here with me.
This is a really good presentation.
There you go. While you're on here today, I'm going to give you a few things. So if you want to make a note of this, if you want to text code in or text into this number, 678-506-7543. If you want to text that in, I'm going to give you a copy of my book, Inside the Mind of a Monster. I'm going to give you How to Turn Fear into Cash Flow, Part 1 and Part 2. And I'm also going to give you a third piece. I'm going to give you an interview I did with my doctor, who's an energy doctor in Houston, Texas. So just text that in, and I'm going to give you all of those things. My team can continue to share that. If you guys, Eric White and Lake and Hibden, can share that with the group. I want you to get a copy of this book because this is my book on mindset. Okay, my coaching program is called Inside the Mind of a Monster, which is top performance people. Now, what's interesting, if you look up there in the corner, my wife wrote a book called Living with a Monster, which is how you live with an obsessed person. And I'm sure many of you can identify with that, right? Now, and you may say, well, I want that book over your book. That's okay. Now, let's talk about, so Lakin, if you'll post, some people have got some questions about what the text code is. So if you'll just text that again in there for me, that'd be great. Now, let's talk about mindset, because in my mind, during this cycle, the number one thing you need to protect is your confidence. Confidence is the memory of success. Okay. It is an internal knowing that you can create or manifest what you see in your mind. Okay. It is a distribution of your unique talent to the world, and the world rewards you in the form of love, money, recognition, affirmation, referrals. The world rewards you when you distribute your talent to the world. So what is the mindset of a top performer? Okay, where does this conditioning come from? I believe one of the number one activators of prey drive in the world right now is fear. Fear is an emotion. That emotion is created by a belief that something's going to harm me in the future. So when you break it down, you start asking yourself, what is fear? Fear is an unpleasant emotion created by a belief that something or someone is going to harm me in the future. So it's a belief you have. That belief is created in your own mind, typically based on something from the past. Because of that fear and that belief, it creates stress. The stress creates anxiety. Anxiety creates worry. Worry creates dis-ease. The coronavirus is not the number one killer of people in the United States. Stress is. There's 1,000 people that die per day because of heart disease. Heart disease is created by stress. So what happens is a business owner has this fear. And they have this fear of what? Fear that they're not going to be able to make payroll, fear they're not going to sell anything, fear that they're going to lose everything. I want to show you how to use that fear as fuel, because top producers wake up afraid every day. Most of them are motivated by fear of loss. Fear of loss is one of the number one motivators for people in the world. Okay, like I woke up this morning, I got a beautiful house, I got a beautiful place I live, and I woke up this morning thankful, grateful, but more than anything, I woke up motivated. When Amanda used the word motivate, motivate means to move. The word inspire means to breathe life into. During this cycle, you should be motivated to work harder, push more, create more, diversify, Okay, that's what you should be motivated to do. So when you think about this concept, I think about King David in the Bible. If he would have known that it was going to be as tough for him when he became king, he might have said, hey, don't sign me up for that, right? But he didn't. He had a mindset. And the mindset was this: it's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. Nowhere did it say running a small business was going to be easy. Nowhere did they say it's going to be easy to acquire customers. Nowhere did they say it was going to, right? So there's got to be proper expectation. And the expectation is it's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. Now, we're making roughly 90 phone calls a day per salesperson in my office because I believe in the 16% rule. If you study the law of diffusion says that when you present an idea to another person, roughly 16% of those people will be innovators and early adopters, which means they see it and they're open to it quickly. Then it says that 34% of people are what's called early majority. They may need to see it 3 to 7 times. Then there's late majority, 34% of the people. They need to see it 7 to 15 times. And then there's 16% of people are laggards. Now, here's the deal with laggards. They ain't never going to see it. You can move in with those people and it ain't happening. Okay. They're not going to take action on it. I don't care how good it is. Okay. Another word for laggards would be losers. Okay. They don't click. You follow what I'm saying? It ain't happening. So here's the deal. Why do we make 80 phone calls a day? Because I believe in the 16% rule. And we actually test that every day at noon. When I ask my sales team, how many calls did you make? Well, we made 40. Out of 40, how many people were open and inviting? It's roughly almost every day, 16%. Okay. So if you make 30 phone calls, that's 4.8 people. If you make 350 phone calls, that's 52.8 people. I've got a colleague that said in his company the other day, they made 471 phone calls to make one sale. So if you're only calling on a few people or working a few people, the numbers are not on your side, guys. This is a game of probability, just like winning basketball games was a game of probability. So I actually believe that the virus has done one very good thing for us. It's awakened a lot of people in the United States out of a slumber, out of a complacent state. It's a thunderbolt, and a thunderbolt is a sudden, unexpected jolt of energy. It's something that forces you to get better. I've increased my social media. I've increased the number of webinars I've done. I've increased the number of calls to my current clients. I've increased the number of outbound calls. Now, let me ask you a question. Okay. Let me ask you a question. Should I have been doing that the whole time before the virus? Yes or no? Zach, you seem like a person of advancement. You think I should have been doing that the whole time?
Yes, of course. Why weren't you, Coach?
Now, I thought, Zach, before this happened, that I was operating at a very high frequency, and I was. I was producing millions of dollars of sales, right? And here's the deal. I was already operating at a higher frequency, but guess what I found out during this virus? Even old Coach Burt had another gear. And when your back's against the wall, and when you're afraid of losing something, you flip the switch. Andrea, Wilhelm, you with me? You flip the switch. Okay. Now here's the deal, Frank. Some of the people ain't got a switch. So when they flip it, they're only going from gear 1 to gear 2. when we really need to be going right from gear 1 to gear 8. So I want to give you 3 principles that I live by. And one of the things I'm going to give you when you text in is an interview I did with my doctor. I go to the #1 energy doctor in the world. So it's because I'm a very specific regimen. And he has to be on every single day, vitamins, minerals, things like that, to keep in a very good state. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you an interview I did with him. Okay, so make sure you get that. Here's 3 mindsets that we have. Higher, and we wake up hungry. And we wake up hungry. Okay, that's mindset #1. I want everybody to have. Okay, mindset #2. It all goes to 0 at midnight. Okay, it all goes to 0 at midnight. Okay, make sure I don't have any technical difficulties here. I can see myself. I want to make sure you guys can see me okay. All right, hold on a second. Let me regroup. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
All right, good. I don't know what happened. I've been doing Zooms all day today, and it did. I was doing one with the guy in Ireland just a few minutes ago, and it went out on Zoom. Zoom is experienced. What's the stock in Zoom going up to? Zoom's valuation's gone up to $4 billion. We should have been buying stock in Zoom, right? If we'd only known. All right, what about now? Lake and Hibden, give me a heads up if you can hear me okay.
I can hear you better now, but you were breaking up a lot.
Okay, all right. Let's keep going, okay? I want to make sure this is going okay for you because I can see myself. So Lakin, you just let me know if it goes out. I don't know why it's going out, but you just keep letting me know, okay?
Okay.
All right, did everybody get the mindsets that I had? Number one, we go to bed tired and we wake up hungry. Number one, we go to bed tired, we wake up hungry.
It's still going in and out.
I'll go to zero.
It's still going in and out.
All right, hold on just a second. Let me stop my video. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see things. All right, that guy on that picture looks a lot better anyway. All right, Lakin, how does it sound now?
Better. I can hear you.
Okay, good. Let's go with this, right? I look a lot better in that picture anyway. Now, here's the three mindsets. Number one, we go to bed tired and we wake up hungry. Number two, it all goes to zero at midnight. This is a very important rule to live by. No matter how much you have, I want you to start telling yourself that it all goes to zero at midnight. And number three, this is my favorite one. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. There comes a time. Now, if you watch this interview that I did with the famous energy doctor, Dr. Stephen Hotze, you're going to see that he talks a lot about an immune system. That when you have a healthy immune system, your immune system can fight off virus, disease, things like that. Now, if you don't have a healthy immune system, you're susceptible. Well, as he was talking about that in this interview, I was continually thinking about a business. Lenny, a business has an immune system, right? And that immune system is either healthy or not healthy. So here's what I would tell you. The business owners I'm coaching today that are in trouble are business owners that did not have these things in place. I want you to write these things down because I want you thinking which one of these things are your biggest missing structure. Number one, the prey drive has not been activated, meaning we're operating in a static or complacent state. Prey drive is instinctual ability to see something and go get it. It's instinctual ability to see something and have the guts to go get it. There's an activation to it. There's an intensity to it. There's a persistence to it. It is this mindset of we're going to get up and go get it every day. So in some companies, because we were living in good times, the prey drive had been deactivated, meaning we'd reached a complacent state. Number two, there's not a world-class explanation of service in place. I can't tell you how many people I coach that do not have a good explanation of service. And the explanation of service is a 6-step process we teach that increases the velocity of a sale, increases your core beliefs, increases how you explain your services at a world-class level. That's the second thing most people were missing. Third thing people were missing was they did not have a selling system. So when I ask you, how do you acquire customers? What's your number one, number two, number three strategy to acquire customers? And do you have 8 to 12 different strategies to get your phone to ring? Okay. Number four, do you have a 7-touch follow-up? Now, I wrote a book on this called $1 Million Follow-Up. I talk about that in the book I'm going to give you, Inside the Mind of a Monster. But Amanda tells me that with some of you, the sales cycle is a long sales cycle. Same thing is true of me. My sales cycle has been 10 years for some people, right? And I've worked them for 10 years. So when I wrote the book $1 Million Follow-Up, I said most statistics tell us it takes 7 to 15 touches, 80% of the time, to convert a prospect to a client. And I talk about the difference between linear and nonlinear touches. You need multiple touches when you're going to follow up with the person. We use voice, text, video, audio, We use a number of hype videos. We use a number of touches in the follow-up to make sure that we go the distance to convert a prospect to a client. The next piece of the system is 5.7 referrals. Are you extracting, let's call it 4 to 6 referrals from every customer that you currently have? Okay. 98% of people never call a customer back once they transact the deal. So there's no engagement. So I want you to remember this: where there's no engagement with the product or service, there can be no transformation. And where there's no transformation, there's nothing to talk about. So I don't believe in customer service. I believe in customer engagement. You should be engaging with your people more for one reason. I want those 4 to 6 referrals. And the fifth piece of the system, okay, is the person of interest strategy. Do you have a strategy to become known? And I wrote a book on this called Person of Interest, to become a known quantity in your market. This is why you need to write your own book. This is why you need to have your own podcast. This is why you need to circulate with purpose. This is why you need to move about the planet to drive up your known quantity. Now, we live in Nashville or outside of Nashville, and people come to Nashville for one reason. They're little baby stars, and they come to Nashville to become big stars. And if you ever fly out of the Nashville airport, David Williamson, what you'll see is you see all of these little baby stars coming to Nashville, and they don't have anything. They don't have any money. They don't have any friends. All they have is a guitar on their back and a dream in their heart. And they come to Nashville and they play for tips and they make 40 or 50 bucks a night, and one day in hopes of becoming famous. Well, when they become famous, they then can make a shift between making $40 a night to walking across the street and playing at Bridgestone Arena and making $400,000 a night or $4 million per night. Why? Because they become known. They become famous. So you need a person of interest strategy. So I would be curious in the chat right now, out of those missing components of your immune system, where do you think you're missing? If you said my business is struggling or not clicking on every cylinder in one of these areas: pray drive, explanation of service, selling system, follow-up, extraction of referrals, or person of interest strategy. Type in the chat box. I'd be curious to see out of the group where we're at. Okay. Marcus Haney said robotic energy. Is that pray or pray? P-R-E-Y. Pray is in predator. Pray drive. Referrals. Okay, that's good, Zach. Amanda Banks said referrals. Good. Nathan Kerr said referrals. Man, looks like we got a little business here on helping referrals and follow-up. Amanda? All right, person of interest. Good. Okay, good. So basically what we're seeing here is what I'm trying to get you to understand as a business coach is what I do is I go into a business and I find a missing structure. Okay. And the way I find a missing structure is I bring these structures to the equation and I say, Doug McWilliams, out of these areas, which area do you feel like you're missing the most? And if we just filled that area, how much more money would we make if you had a better follow-up or if you extracted more referrals? So when you see this, a lot of businesses, when you're running it, you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame. You can't stir the pot when you're inside the bowl. So by coaching people for so many years, what I've seen is these 6 things are missing in almost every business at some area. And because of that, we're losing lots of money. So when people ask me, how do you get a significant increase in a business, James Bates, in a year, what I say is I come in and I find the missing structure. And then I fill the missing structure. And when I do, the business increases. The revenue goes up. And we're all missing. I've seen multi-billion-dollar companies lacking in one of those 6 areas, guys. And you'd be shocked to see how many are missing pray drive, which is just a pure get up and go get it, right? Like they don't even have enough motivation to go get it every day. So it has to be reactivated. Now, what questions do you have for me right now? Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to see if the video's up and going so you can see my face and it's working. Okay. Andrea Wilhelm, what questions do you have?
I don't have any yet, but I will.
Okay, good. Which of those areas do you think your biggest missing structure is?
Personally, I feel like it's the pray drive. Lacking of the pray drive.
Frank Burdette, what are you thinking?
Well, instincts, I think, are God-given. So I don't know how you prepare employees, salespeople to have that prey drive a lot of times. The instincts are there. You either have it or you don't, I think. What say you?
Yeah, totally agree. Here's what I'll tell you. I think everybody has a prey drive in them that was hardwired. You know, if you're a faith-based person like I am, it was factory installed in you by the manufacturer, I like to say. But here's the problem. Many people, they haven't figured out how to activate it. So I want you to think of activators like this. Competition is an activator of prey drive. Fear is an activator of prey drive. Exposure to bigger ideas and bigger people is activator of prey drive. If you're trying to build a sales team, environment is a huge activator of prey drive. And some people, embarrassment is a big actor of prey drive, meaning they're personally embarrassed by their performance. So as a coach, Frank, to your point, what I see in my employees is they've got it in them. It just sometimes has to be activated or reactivated. And it typically comes through a certain methodology that I'm using by my understanding of how to activate that drive. Now, go back to my high school coaching days. Imagine your daughter, 14, 18 years old, playing for me. And every single day, I'm teaching her 7 habits of highly effective people, principles of good to great, the 5 dysfunctions of teams, the 5 disciplines of a learning organization. The power of intention. Imagine a 14-year-old having this instilled in her so that when she went out to the world, she would be highly employable because she's got a competitive intelligence about her. She's understood how to activate that drive. So to Frank's point, many people have not been conditioned like this. You take the military, many people that go to the military are not conditioned to be that tough until they get in the military and they get daily training. Their prey drive is activated. The competition in them comes out. The emotional toughness comes out. So to Frank's point, what we're trying to create is a high prey drive environment. Now I'm going to take one more question and then I'm going to keep going. That's a great question by Frank. Okay, Lake and Hibden's posted the system in there. How do you establish a routine when remote to start activation and prey drive? This is very important because I'm going to get into this. So I'm going to hold that question, Amanda, as I work through this to your point, okay? What you have to do right now is you've got to understand what builds confidence, okay? If confidence is an internal knowing that we can create or manifest, the confident person wakes up like King David did. It's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. It's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. See, I was on the phone with a business owner at 6 o'clock this morning, and here's what, I'm scared. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm looking at my financials. I couldn't sleep all last night. And I said, man, none of those things are going to help this situation. You need to use this fear as fuel. That's what you need to be doing. You need to make more calls. All we can do is all we can do, right? But you're not doing it. You're in a contraction right now. So what builds confidence? And then I'm going to get into what maintains it, and it's going to answer Amanda's question. What builds confidence are these things: preparation, repetition, working the muscle, being in the game, being in the fight, experiencing many victories, spending time with talent or pairing up with people better than you. Okay. All of these things build confidence. So here's how I come into a day. This is part of our selling system. I come into the day with really 4 things every day that I'm doing. Number 1, I have a hit list of people I'm calling on every day to generate new money. That hit list is already prepared. Today, my day was, I created my day around almost down to the second of what I'd be doing all parts of the day. And I sat down and mapped that out last night. I map it out. I spend 2 hours on Sunday visioneering the week. A hit list are people I'm calling on to produce new money. It's anybody I can help with my services. That hit list can come from current clients that I'm selling something else to with other products. It can come from past clients. It can come from strategic partners, or it can come from direct leads. So my hit list, every day I come in, I got people that I'm calling on to initiate. So think about this. As the sales cycle. I initiate, right? I initiate, I build rapport. I locate a significant problem. I offer a compelling solution. That's the 4 steps to the sale. Well, I got to have somebody to initiate. So let's go back to the law of diffusion. Okay. If you're only calling on a few people, then the problem is your percentages are not up because only 16% of those people are going to be open and inviting to what you have to say. Okay. So if you're calling on 4 people, 16% of 4 is just too small of a number. Andrea, this is where the prey drive comes in. You got to get in there and you got to go get it every day. So every day I got a hit list. My hit list typically consists of 10 to 20 people that I'm calling on. It could be calling on Amanda Banks to see how I can help her network of people, which is why I'm in front of you guys right now. That's a hit list phone call. Could be me calling on Lenny Burnett. Okay. For some reason, I like Lenny. He seems to have a good personality here. I may be wrong, but I'm usually good on this. So it could be me calling on Lenny going, Lenny, if I helped you get to a better place, who else do we need to be in front of? And Lenny says, oh, I got a whole network of people you need to be in front of. That's a hit list phone call. It could be a strategic partner. It could be a direct lead. It could be me calling it to offer you a different product or service. This is why you need lots of products and services. Because if I call Zach and I've only got one product and he don't want that product, then I'm in trouble. If I call him and I go, oh, what he really needs is this product. So I got products starting as low as $9.99 all the way up to $100,000 a year. Okay. So I need diversity in my product suite so I can pivot. Second group of people I got every day is what's called my farm club. And my farm club are people who have indicated interest in my services, but I haven't closed them. Okay. My second group of people I'm calling on are my farm club. Okay. Meredith, that's a great question. I'm going to come back and answer your question on motivation through fear in just a second. Okay. Or embarrassment. Okay. I know this is a 30-minute chat, so I don't want to keep you too long. I want you to hang in there because I'm going to give you some good stuff. So every day I got a hit list. Every day I got a farm club. Okay. Farm club are people I'm going 7 touches with because they've indicated interest in my product or service. Now, Michael Grossman, the third group I got, which may be where the most money is made, is called my top 25. And my top 25 are 25 very strong relationships that I'm cultivating because I want you to think of them as feeder systems. These are people who can feed you influence, feed you new business, feed you new opportunity. Okay. Now, when I come in every day and I work those 3 groups, okay, I got a hit list every day. I got a farm club every day. I got a top 25 every day. What that's doing is producing action. And the more action I take, the luckier I get, the more opportunity we do. We just closed the deal a few minutes ago on somebody I had been following up with. Sometimes they didn't take my phone call. They didn't answer my text message. They didn't say anything about my video. And then all of a sudden they just email in and say, boom, we're ready to go. So all you can control during this cycle, guys, and then I'll finish up with some questions, is this. All you can control is your stimulus. Right, Walter? You can't control their response. If I call on, is it Mickle Fierce? Is it Michael? Is it Michael or Mickle?
Yes, Michael.
Okay, your mom spelled my name, your name like my mom spelled my name. My mom spelled Micheal, right?
I just don't think mine could spell. She just sounded it out.
Well, my mom had me when she was 16. I asked her, was she a very good speller? Because she spelled Michael different than everybody else on the planet. Now, so when you think about it, Michael, when you're thinking about this concept, what this does, I can't control. If I call on Michael, I can't control his response to me. All I can control is my stimulus. So a lot of people will say, well, nobody's answering the phone. That's what my sales team was telling me this morning. Well, nobody's answering the phone. I can't get anybody to answer. That's not a reason not to make the phone call. You make the phone call to work the muscle. You make the phone call for repetition. You make the phone call to get better. You make the phone call to figure out how to get a person on the phone. So just remember, during this period, you can't control the response. All you can control is the stimulus. So let me wrap it up by saying these things. What's our rules? It's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. It all goes to 0 at midnight. There comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. All I can't control are the controllables. My mindset, my positive energy is going to be greater than any negative energy I'm going to face today. And I will find a way to sell something. I will find a way to produce something. But it's not going to happen if I contract. Okay? It's not going to happen when I contract. Now, I want to show you one more time. If you didn't get it earlier, Okay, I want to share my screen to make sure you get these things that I'm offering you, because I think this is really, really good. I think it will help you. If you notice right here, I'm going to be giving you for free download. I'm going to be giving you a few things. Okay, there we go. I'm going to be giving you, if you text Monster, I'm going to give you the book Monster Producer. I'm going to give you my interview on how to turn fear into cash flow. And then I'm going to give you my interview with the doctor, the energy doctor, which I think you'll find pretty fascinating. Okay, so just text that number right now, or text it when you get a chance. I love to give you those things. Okay, now let's close this out here. Let's close this out here and see if we can. There we go. Let's close this out with some questions, and I hope this has been valuable for you. When you think about some of these questions that people have typed in here, I like the question, why do leaders feel the need to motivate through fear? The answer to that question is the leader is afraid. The leader, and sometimes if you study, I did a fascinating interview yesterday with a therapist who talked about how your childhood traumas affect how you handle this adversity. When a leader is afraid, if they have a high D personality, they seek control. Anytime they feel out of control, they seek control. And the way they seek control, in their words, may be if they've been coached, maybe there is to try to, every tactic they have to motivate you. And for some people, they try to motivate through fear. And that's just the only way they know how to motivate people. They don't know how to pull it out of people. That's just who they are. Now, between that motivation and your response is a space. And in that space lies your ability to choose your response. Okay, so here's what you got to know. Every business owner in America is scared right now. I don't care if they're making $100,000 or $10 million. I was coaching people during the recession of 2008. And guess what I figured out, guys? I was coaching people who had $10 million in the bank of cash that were scared to death. So if you don't think people are scared right now, they're trying every tactic they can. So I would encourage you to give those leaders a little bit of grace. The small business owner that's producing jobs, making payroll, giving people an opportunity to work, they're as scared as you are. So just understand during this time, they're under a considerable amount of pressure. They don't want to lay people off. They don't want to shut their businesses down. They don't want they don't want these things to happen. So they're literally going into a fear mechanism, a coping mechanism to try to figure out how they can make it through this. So just bear with them right now, bear with them and try to help them. Okay. All right, let's go back. Amanda, can you hear me okay now? All right. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. I don't know if it's a Zoom problem. Today's been the only day I've had some of these issues. So any other questions that you guys have? We're going to get in a forward posture. We're going to stay motivated. We're going to do everything we can. We're going to push as hard as we can. We're going to fight through, because it's going to be a fight, but we're going to find a way to win. And if you can bring this mindset into every day, I promise you, good things are going to happen to you during this period. And here's the cool part. You're going to have creative muscles that you haven't worked in so long that are going to come alive. They've been dormant, right? These dormant faculties are going to come alive in your life. You're going to find another gear. You're going to find a new opportunity. You're going to find a way to diversify. You're going to strengthen your business model. And when you get through this, you're going to be so much better than you were currently. Okay? Let's take some questions.
I don't have a question rather than a statement, but if you will get with me after this little Zoom call, we'll work and figure out what's wrong with that circuit and see if I can help you at fixing that for you.
I like your prey drive, Michael. I like your prey drive, man. You see opportunity. I'm with you, brother. All right, last thing before we let you off here, guys. I'm going to be speaking live, and today I know it was a little muffled, and I don't know what happened there, but I'm going to be live. Amanda, if you want to come in and tell them about that event we're going to be doing, I would love for you guys to come in person and see me speak in person. I promise you it'll be dynamic. I promise you I'll bring the goods. I'll talk about this methodology. I'll talk about the activation of prey drive. I'll talk about the entire growth system that's in the book, Inside the Mind of a Monster. And I really believe it can help you advance. So Amanda, tell them about that date so we can see if we get some folks signed up for that.
Yeah, so we've moved the date over to August the 25th. From 8 to 9:30. You can go to the Greater Nashville Technology Council website, and there is a link there to go ahead and get registered. But yep, it's been moved to August the 25th.
Okay, great. So August 25th, I want to see you guys in person. If you got a question for me, or you want to do a strategy session, meaning just me and you talk about ways to generate revenue during this period, then just email Lakin@coachburt.com. or Eric, who's on here at coachbird.com. I'd love to do a strategy session with you and help you during this cycle, because that's all I'm doing right now is coaching business owners and their employees. I'll do a webinar for your employees. If you got a group of people that you want me to keep motivated, you want me to give them, I'd be happy to do that for you as well. So just reach out to Lakin at coachbird.com and we'll get that scheduled.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Coach Burt, thank you for joining us today. And you guys, everybody stay healthy. Look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks, couple months.
Keep smiling, Lenny. You're gonna go places in the world.
Yeah, it's hard not to. I sometimes just can't help myself, but thanks.
Hey, you guys are great. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.